Hey y'all. Yeah, I should have offered to translate when those chicks were here because I speak dog. Well, it's great to be back here. I've been gone for a while. Did you guys miss me?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I missed me. Just trying to set my phone up, but anyway.
Do you want me to move?
I'm old. I can't do anything. I couldn't even figure out how to get to the. We gotta do it. Oh, no, that's right. Yes. Thank you, thank you. No, it's great to be back. I had to go out of town. I had to go back east for a family emergency, basically. We had a death in the family, but when I got back, my daughter she was saying, "Now, Mom, before you go in to see Dad, don't ask him how he's doing because for some reason, everybody goes and goes, well, hi, how you doing? It just sets him off." And I said, well, any normal person would go in and say hi. She goes, I know, but don't say that. And I was like, okay, I won't say that. So I went in and I looked at him and I was like, oh God, I hope I don't get old like you. And he was kind of speechless for a minute, and then he kind of laughed and he goes, don't you have any jokes about me? And I said, well, do something funny and I'll talk about you. But he said, no, you used to have one. Remember you used to have something about the Domino's pizza and the soda? And I was like, oh, well, I guess people did laugh at that, but I didn't think it was funny and I didn't think it was a joke. It was a true statement. I used to say that he's so lazy that if he runs out of Coca-Cola, he calls Domino's to have him bring him the 2 liter of soda. And that was true, so I don't know, but yeah, it's a trip. I was gone for, I don't know, like a little over a month, and when I got home, there was this white, like crystally stuff on my coffee table. And so one of my husband's friends, I don't like him and I'm biased against him, and I always assume the worst. It's always Greg's fault. I just assume the worst. So I carefully scraped this stuff off my coffee table, and I go into the den and I got it and I asked my husband, I'm like, do you know what this is? And he surprised me because he stuck his finger in it and tasted it. I was like, oh, and he's like, salt. And I'm like, salt? He's like, yeah, where was it? And I said, on the coffee table in the living room. He's like, well, didn't you have a margarita in there before you went to the airport? And I was like, yeah. So I was like already super suspicious. I'm like, nobody's been in the living room in over a month? He goes, I don't think so. I've been coming in through the garage. So I was so suspicious and had already jumped to conclusions that it was, Greg did it. Greg was in my living room, blah, blah, blah. And it was my own margarita salt from my own margarita glass. True story. So the moral of the story is, you can't, even if you're biased, you can't jump to conclusions. You got to get the facts before you start freaking out. But oh my God. Yeah, it's a trip. The other thing, well, when my ex-husband was in the hospital, my kids were going up there in shifts and sitting with him. And one night, one of my sons left, like at midnight, my daughter went up there and she said it was quiet for a while, and she said then the lady in the room next door started screaming. She's going, put your pants on! Put your pants on! No, you have to put your pants on! And finally she heard this old man say, well, I gotta go to the bathroom. And she says, you have a diaper on, you have a catheter in, you have an IV, you can't get up, you have to get back to bed. He's like, well, I'm up now, I'm gonna make me a biscuit. She's like, you can't make a biscuit, you're in the hospital, you have to get back in bed. And all this stuff. He goes, well, I'm gonna go to Morristown to get me a biscuit. She's like, you're not going anywhere. And my daughter said, I don't know why she was screaming at him so loud. I said, well, the old man probably can't hear good, And my daughter said she asked the nurses at the nurses station, is that nurse working here at the hospital? And they were like, oh, Lord, no. She's somebody the family hired to sit with him because he keeps leaving the hospital. He keeps leaving and going out. And they were trying to keep him in there. But finally, she said, you know, the lady was still screaming, put your pants on. He's like, okay, I'm going to put my pants on. I'm going to get back in bed, but I'm not putting my pants on. And then a couple days later, I was on the phone with my daughter, and it was 5 in the morning their time, and she was going up to the hospital, and I said, Erica, go through a drive-through and get that old man a biscuit. And she said, well, I don't know, Mom, he might have dietary restrictions. I said, nobody's restricted from eating a biscuit. I said, you can go through a drive-through somewhere and get him a biscuit, but I don't think she did. But I would have gotten that old man a biscuit if I was there.